The Whispers in Room 237. The Highland View Hotel stood atop a lonely hill, its crumbling facade cloaked in shadow as the setting sun painted the horizon in blood-red hues. Built in the 1920s, the once grand establishment had fallen into disrepair, yet it still managed to attract an eclectic clientele drawn by its storied history and the whispered rumors of hauntings. Detective Clara Voss didn't believe in ghosts, but she did believe in answers. When Evelyn Harper, a well-known journalist, vanished during her stay in room 237, Clara had been summoned to investigate. The room had a reputation. Guests often reported hearing voices, eerie laughter, or whispers that seemed to emerge from the walls themselves. Evelyn's disappearance had only added to the legend. Clara stepped into the hotel lobby, the air thick with the scent of dust and aged wood. The receptionist, a gaunt man with deep-set eyes named Victor, greeted her with a nervous smile. "Detective Voss," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, "I'll take you to room 237. But I must warn you, it's peculiar." "Peculiar how?" Clara asked, arching a skeptical eyebrow. "You'll see," Victor replied, turning away without elaboration. As they climbed the creaking staircase, Clara noticed the silence that enveloped the upper floors. It was the kind of silence that seemed to listen. When Victor unlocked the door to room 237, the hinges groaned as though protesting their intrusion. The room was unremarkable at first glance. Faded wallpaper, a single bed, a dusty armchair by the window. But then Clara felt it, a faint chill that prickled her skin, as if unseen eyes were watching. "Evelyn's belongings are still here," Victor murmured, gesturing to a suitcase by the bed. "The police didn't linger." Clara nodded, stepping inside. Her gaze swept the room, noting the details. A notebook lay open on the nightstand, its pages filled with Evelyn's precise handwriting. Clara skimmed the last entry. "The whispers are growing louder. They know I'm listening. I feel like I'm being watched. Tomorrow, I'll find the source." The words sent a shiver down Clara's spine. She turned to Victor. "Do you know what she meant?" Victor's face was ashen. "I told her not to dig too deep. This place, it doesn't like curiosity." Before Clara could question him further, a soft sound filled the room. A faint whisper, unintelligible but undeniably present. She froze, her pulse quickening. Victor's eyes widened in terror, and he bolted, slamming the door behind him. Clara turned in a slow circle, straining to locate the source of the sound. It seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere, threading through the air like a ghostly melody. Then she noticed the mirror above the dresser. The glass seemed to ripple, the reflection distorting ever so slightly. She approached cautiously, her breath fogging the surface as she leaned closer. "Evelyn," she murmured. The whispers stopped. Then, with a sudden burst of force, the mirror cracked, a jagged fracture splitting its surface. Clara stumbled back, her heart pounding. On the other side of the room, the armchair creaked as though someone unseen had just sat down. "Who's there?" Clara demanded, drawing her flashlight. The beam cut through the gloom, illuminating the empty chair. She felt a sudden pressure against her back, like an invisible hand guiding her toward the suitcase. Summoning her courage, Clara knelt and unzipped the bag. Inside, she found Evelyn's recording device. She played back the last recording. "It's in the walls. The voices. They're calling to me. I think I've found the source. It's—" The recording cut off abruptly. Clara rewound it, straining to catch the final word, but the device crackled and died, its battery inexplicably drained. As she stood, the whispers resumed, louder now, forming words. "Find us. Clara's investigation led her to the basement, a labyrinth of forgotten hallways and storage rooms. The air grew colder with every step, the whispers guiding her like a macabre compass. At last, she found herself before a heavy, iron-bound door. Its surface was etched with strange symbols that seemed to writhe in the dim light. With a deep breath, Clara pushed the door open. The room beyond was small and bare, save for a circular grate in the center of the floor. A faint, sickly glow emanated from the depths below. She knelt, peering through the grate, and saw something that defied comprehension. Shifting shadows, writhing forms, and eyes. Dozens of eyes, all fixed on her. The whispers surged, filling her mind with a cacophony of voices. She stumbled back, clutching her head. In the chaos, one voice rose above the rest, clear and commanding. "Free us." Clara's hand brushed against a lever on the wall. Her instincts screamed to leave, to run, but something held her in place. She looked back at the grate, the eyes watching her with desperate intensity. "What are you?" she whispered. "Prisoners," the voice replied, "bound by those who feared us. Free us, and the whispers will cease." Clara hesitated. She thought of Evelyn, of the others who had vanished, and of the lives that could still be in danger. With a deep breath, she pulled the lever. The room trembled as the grate opened, releasing a surge of cold, dark energy that swept through her. The shadows coalesced, forming into shapes that were both human and inhuman, their eyes gleaming with gratitude and hunger. As the figures faded into the darkness, the whispers ceased, leaving a profound silence in their wake. Clara staggered back to the lobby, her mind racing. Victor was waiting, his expression a mixture of relief and dread. "You freed them, didn't you?" he asked. "I did," Clara replied. "What happens now?" Victor's gaze drifted to the window, where the first rays of dawn were breaking over the horizon. "Now, we wait." But the silence that followed was not comforting. It was heavy, ominous, and full of unspoken promises.